Number 3 tells us that we're going to invest $230 for 1 year at 14.3 simple interest. So how much interest is earned? Well, to do this, we need to know this. We need to know that interest is equal to principal times rate times time. Now the principal, that's how much we invest. That's going to be 230. The rate is 14.3%. Change it to a percent, 0.143, and the time is always in years, and that's going to be a 1. So here's what we're going to do. We're just going to multiply these together. We're going to take 230, multiply it by 0.143, and multiply that by 1, and that will give us 32.89. So how much interest is earned? So it's not I equals this, it's $32.89. Number 8, some guy that we don't know, maybe is saving money for who knows what. He invests some of his money at 8% and $1,800 less than that amount at 7%. So he's got two investments, one at 8, one at 7%, and they produce a total of $279 in interest in 1 year. How much did this guy invest at each rate? Okay, well, as we read through this, here's how I read this. We've got two unknowns here. He invests some at 8% and then $1,800 less than that amount. So what's coming, this first one I read is 8%, the second one is 7%. I'm going to let X equal the amount at 8%. Let me write that here. So I'm going to do this. This is number 7. Let X equal, and like magic it happened, so let X equal the amount invested at 8%. Now how much is invested? What is the amount at 7%? Well, we're told this, that the amount at 7% is what? $1,800 less than that amount. Okay, now, than that amount. There's that less than. What follows less than, that's where we start. So that amount is X. So this is going to be, and then 1,800 less, this is going to be X minus 1,800. Let's just be sure this makes sense. I'm going to let X equal the amount invested at 8% because I know if I subtract 1,800 from that, I'll get the amount invested at 7%. Now, if you let X be the amount at 7%, then this is already 1,800 less, so the amount at 8% would be 1,800 more. So if this was X, this would be X plus 1,800. Now all this is given in terms of just, 1 year? 1 year. So let's find the interest on the at the 8%. So here's what I'm thinking. I want the interest at 8%. If I add the interest at 7%, I'm going to get the total interest. Right? Now here's the interest at 8%. All right? This is just how I'm thinking through this problem. If I take the individual interests, add them together, I'll get the total. Now the interest at 8%, right, come back here, I equals PRT, T is 1, so it's the principal times the rate. Now at the first one, at 8%, this is going to be 0.08, and how much do we put in here? We put in X, plus, now the interest at 7%, that's 7%, and this is X minus 1,800. And that's equal to the total interest, which was 279. So let's multiply through here. We'll get 0.08x plus 0.07x minus, now 0.07 times 1,800 is 126. That's equal to 279. Right here, this will give us 0.15x minus 126, that's 279. Let's add that 126, so we'll get 0.15x equals, and if we add these together, right here, oh, you know what? That is not, let me fix that. That wasn't 276, right? That's a 9 up here. That's a 9, holy smokes. So 279. Now 126 and 279, that's 405. And if we divide by 0.15, look like this. 405 divided by 0.15. Now I'm going to do that on my calculator. I get 2,700. All right, so what was X? X was the amount right here, invested at 8%. Okay, so at 8%, we've got 2,700. Now what we want to know is, how much did this guy invest at each rate? Well, we've got the X, and right below it, we've got X minus 1,800, so I'm going to write that one. X minus 1,800, and there's the X right there. 2,700 minus 1,800 is 900. So let's just summarize here. So at 8%, this fellow invested $2,700, and at 7%, this fellow invested $900. Now, for problem number 9, let's see what's going on here. We've got a woman that invests some money at 5% and $3,700 more than that, more than 3 times that amount at 11%. The two investments got a total of this much. How much did she invest at each rate? Okay, so why don't we do this? Why don't we let X equal the amount she invested at 5%, right? So she invested some at 5%, and now 37,000 more than, there's that more than, so what follows more than is where we start, 3 times that amount. So that amount was X. So we have 3 times that amount, but 37,000 more. So plus another 37,000. That's equal to the amount invested at 11%. And now I'm thinking about it this way, is that she gets interest off the 5%, and then she gets some interest off the 11%. She adds those two together, and she gets a total of this much. So here's what I'm thinking here. I'm thinking that the interest she gets at 5%, add that to the total interest she gets at 11%, and that'll give us the total interest. Now, we know that I equals PRT. In this case, T is just equal to 1. So the interest is going to be, now at 5% is 0.05 times the amount that she invested at 5%. Well, that's X. So this is just going to be 0.05X plus. And then at 11%, that's 0.11 times the amount she invested at 11%. And that is 3X plus 37,000. And that's all equal to the total interest she made, which was $28,770 in 1 year. Let's simplify this a bit. 0.05x plus, now multiply through, we'll get 0.33, right? 3 times 11 is 33, but 0.33x plus, and on my calculator, 0.11 times 37,000, I got 4070 equals 28,770. If I add these together, 5 and 33 is 0.38x plus 4070 equals 28,770. Let's subtract this, so we'll get 0.38x equals now 28,770 divided by minus, right? I'm taking this minus this. When I do that, I get 24,700. And now I'm going to divide by that 0.38. So if I divide that by 0.38, I'm left with this. I'll do it up here. X equals 65,000. So here's the question then. How much did she invest at each rate? Well, what is the X? The X, if you follow it all the way back, that's the amount she invested at 5%. Now, the amount she invested at 11%, that's down here, right? So that's down here. So I've got it right here. I'm just going to write it right below. 3x plus 37,000 equals, and I've got the x right there. So this is going to be 3 times 65,000 plus 37,000. So right here, that gives me 195 000 plus 37,000. And when I add those together, I come out with 2, 3, 2, and 3 zeros. All right, so let's summarize now. So the amount that she invested at 5%, that's going to be X, and X was this number here, right? That's at 5%. So that was 65,000. Oh, that's going to be dollars. Let's put a dollar sign on there. $65,000. And the amount at 11%, that was 232,000 and all right, dollars. There we go.